she has doubled down. That being Daff, also known as 39Daff, an influencer with over 400,000 followers on Twitter, along with over 600,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 1.2 million followers on Twitch.tv. This influencer over the past days taking to her chat to doubt, contradict, and disparage the words of Nijisanji English's Selen Tatsuki, now terminated from that agency and operating as the independent VTuber Dokibird. These chat logs being covered in our last episode, which has since been seen by others.
Daff logs strike again.
Known to chat with her viewership in her offline chat, yesterday remarking on the situation and having a few choice words regarding Dokibird. This not being the first time that Daff's offline chat records have attracted attention, as some remarks that she had made in her chat.
Like, I think that what she's saying would be more valid if Dokibird was the one that leaked that she got harassed. But because Nijisanji was the one that leaked it, then it totally goes out the window that Dokibird has any sort of responsibility to justify these claims because she never made them in a public setting. That's insane.
And now many wondering, is this the beginning? Many viewers speculating if the Nijisanji livers still remaining with the agency are speaking with their outside of agency influencer friends to speak on their behalf. And if we may even see a graduated liver speak more directly on the subject. That as Daff and Kyo Kaneko have been friends before Kyo was even with Nijisanji English. This liver tweeting out earlier this morning, I can't believe it's today, as he is now graduating and leaving the organization. While in response to yesterday's video, Daff has now doubled down, further speaking on the legalities around Dokibird, and once again taking to her chat to say what happened. Peak journalism, speculating in offline chat. Though I will say, what exactly was a bad question I asked? Regarding the situation, am I wrong for assuming if you sue for harassment, you need to name them for the case and have the burden of proof to support said case? Therefore, I can assume multiple people were named because 3 people volunteered, implying there's more. Because if you want to sue for harassment, you already built a case and have documented proof of this exact harassment from specific people. In the tweets, Niji said, they said respective documents shown to relevant people, then 3 people volunteered, said they disagreed with the contents of those documents, leading me to assume each person got different documents. Because if you show unrelated people other documents, that is breaching privacy. Not sure what the word to use here is. So if they showed specific people specific documents, I can fairly assume people got different documents. This referencing before from where Daff had said from Niji's tweet, you can infer these people all had their specific documents individually sent to them. This once again being an assumption on Daff's part. And again, that action being entirely against the request of Dokibirds, who wish for these documents only to be seen by the legal team of Nijisanji. Daff then saying, I don't know, it's a legal court case. No, that's a bit more graduated than drama. That referencing back to when Daff said, because I genuinely also don't understand, how can you file a court case and say you want to move on as if it's not ongoing? I'm sorry, girly, that's not how legal matters work. You can't decide on a whim when you want it to be convenient. Once again, at this time, it is not clear if a court case has been filed at all, or if this is simply the legal teams of Dokibird and Nijisanji speaking with one another, and now further being shared against Dokibird's request to the actual livers. Daff continuing on, it also is mentioned in the Nijisanji tweets, livers were involved in this harassment. That is the actual statement from Nijisanji, reads, despite our efforts, Selen Tatsuki demanded that ANYCOLOR should be held legally responsible. This not stating that actual legal proceedings have gone forward, as Dokibird herself has also not stated that legal proceedings had gone forward. Lawyers involved. Daff then linking out to another tweet, this being the much maligned Nijisanji English tweet, stating that Nijisanji hereby declares that it has not made any confidentiality violations. In general, why are people mad? That I'm questioning stuff being weird. If she's suing, I guess she's not suing then. What about that video though? I didn't watch it. And continuing, so when people witch hunt livers and Niji, it's okay, even if they don't have proof or know anything yet. But when I ask some questions about the legal stuff, it's all hell is loose. Me just speculating with y'all and here with maybe 10 people at most, then blowing it up to thousands, I don't know if that's gonna have the effect they want. hunt. I don't know, it's kind of effed for the livers. It's been a free-for-all for people to witch hunt them. This once again after Nijisanji themselves initiated the subject of harassment, stating claims of Selen that she herself had not made public yet, such as this one that she was being harassed by other affiliated livers due to mismanagement. That once again not being firstly revealed by Selen / Dokibird, but instead by Nijisanji English themselves. This particular approach by Nijisanji receiving lots of criticism, with many viewers saying that it simply painted a target on every liver's back. Daph continuing on, and no one's really bothering with asking for proof for them just speculating like me. But when I do it, oh shit. But it's fair that those documents don't need to be made public, but they definitely were rightfully shared with the involved individuals. Because again, if you are claiming a company wronged you or harassed, you have to have specific interactions with specific people as proof. So that being shared within the involved parties is just part of the legal process. Daph here once again insisting that the livers absolutely must see the documents, despite at this time no legal proceedings of any kind involving them on an individual basis. Daph further continuing, well, as far as we know, Niji got papers sent by lawyers, so what that mean? Mother effer, I don't know why private info would be in those papers. I think people are backtracking the suing thing by saying it's an HR complaint and not an actual lawsuit because it dismisses all my questions. Why would we not reasonably assume it's a lawsuit from every context given? The reason we'd assume those documents contain proof of harassment is because those three livers went live disagreeing, and the whole base of it is very much appears to be suing for harassment / unfair treatment. I don't know, it seems like people are saying it's not a lawsuit after all because it voids all the questions I had. Daph's original questions and stance, once again referencing back, stating I genuinely also don't understand how can you file a court case and saying you want to move on as if it's not ongoing. Daph herself with no knowledge if there is an ongoing court case and simply assuming. Daph further confirming that, saying because I'm assuming it's a lawsuit, all my other assumptions are based off that, so why get mad at me? I'm just assuming too, LOL. I didn't even say anything mean. It's literally just about the lawsuits. Daph earlier when talking about this situation with Dokibird saying basically someone's lying. Along with, again, I don't think she thought those individuals would be sent their respective documents, which is really dumb. And later saying she kind of publicly slandered and caused a witch hunt. And I'm really riled up that you can basically slander a group of people, I don't give an F about the corpa, withhold proof that you had to gather for your case, and just say you want to move on. Once again, Daph later saying I didn't even say anything mean. Daph further saying at the end of the day, I'm just speculating like everyone else. But I felt like I had pretty reasonable questions and hypotheticals, so I don't know why people are so upset. Whatever, man, I said what I had to say anyways, and it did kind of pick my brain. People are free to speculate. Me being friends with Niji livers means jack shit in the court of law. I hope it goes to court. The only thing I'm guilty of is yapping and speculating like literally everyone else. But for some reason, questioning the legality and sense of the suing is really frowned upon. Daph further stating, I don't know, dude. I literally said in those logs, I don't discredit how she felt. But if you're accusing people of harassment and have burden of proof for suing, you better make sure it's solid. And given 3 people already disagreed, oops, good luck with the case. But it'd be shown in court and up for debate. And consider they'd volunteer. I don't know. I don't think you'd want to volunteer unless you strongly disagree. But then again, the narrative is they were forced to. And okay, wait, no, one last thing. If I'm right, I get to say I told you so. Bye-bye. Once again, those being the words of Daph at 39 Daph, longtime friend of Kyo Kaneko of Nijisanji English, who is now graduating from the agency today. And now, speaking of Dokibird, this VTuber has now achieved 576,000 YouTube subscribers, surpassing that of the 569,000 subscribers of Nijisanji English's Elira Pendora. Elira at this time having not streamed in the past 2 weeks, except for the now infamous A Message from Nijisanji English stream. That is, we saw this in one of my local cosplay communities, secondhand selling groups, and thought it was mildly funny. This listing being for an Elira Pendora cosplay, including a custom-made wig, costume, and shoes, with the seller saying, canceled plans. And what has not been canceled just yet is is the remaining Selen merchandise on the Nijisanji English official store. One of those pieces of merchandise being a Niji puppet, with some viewers finding it humorous that the main graphic for the Nijisanji English puppets would be of Elira Pendora and Vox Akama, two of the three individuals from that infamous A Message from Nijisanji English stream. As also a third piece of merchandise, an acrylic stand still exists for Selen Tatsuki. Others also finding that being from an interesting series, that being the Aristocrats and Servants merchandise series, wherein Elira played the aristocrat and Selen played the servant. The story of Selen Tatsuki's termination expanding out further, now appearing in both a Tokyo Weekender article alongside a Japan Times article, this one entitled High Profile Shakeups Prompt Scrutiny of Virtual YouTuber Industry. This all while numerous users are noticing more and more job postings from ANYCOLOR, most especially this one, Toast Crunch remarking, "Holy shit." This online job listing from ANYCOLOR from 19 days ago for a quote-unquote legal clerk and general manager. The estimated salary is 300,000 to 420,000 yen, which is anywhere from 2,000 to 3,800 USD a month. That's not two separate jobs. They want people who will do both. Basically, their closest competitor pays twice as much for half the job, and even that half of the job that they're asking for is more limited in scope and more specific. I imagine some people would prefer a point of comparison, so here's a similar listing Cover Corporation has up. It's for legal clerk and specifies a focus on compliance. It is 5 million to 10 million yen annual, so around 3,800 to 7,600 USD a month, plus performance bonuses twice a year. This all occurring as the hashtag positive spam for NijiEN was initially posted on select Twitter accounts, often either featuring artwork or the mascots of all of the remaining NijiEN livers, and all of them coming from non-English speaking accounts. That hashtag immediately being co-opted by English speaking accounts like this one saying, "My favorites. Oh wait, X NijiEN now, so there's no more positivity in that place." Here we have, what is this BS of hashtag positive spam for NijiEN? This Dokibird piece remarking, "Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power." And this wonderful work from Lataro saying, "I deeply apologize for breaking it down." That being the billionaire CEO of ANYCOLOR Incorporated, the parent company of Nijisanji, who themselves actually has a Reddit account themselves, posting 3 times to the r/Nijisanji subreddit. That subreddit at this time now being highly critical of the agency, posting up not just memes, but also analytical essays, including this one from yesterday stating, "I work in comms for a living and can only think of one explanation for Nijisanji's bizarre public relations strategy. Saying, like everyone else, I've been confused and dismayed by Nijisanji's bizarre self-destructive approach to first breaking the news of Selen's termination and then responding to Dokibird's statements. I do work in comms for a living and can speak to the general dynamics at play in public disputes between highly visible actors in which one or both parties are subject to non-disclosure agreements. Based on my professional experience and my knowledge of the statements from Nijisanji and Dokibird, the explanation here seems fairly obvious. Nijisanji misinterpreted the personal account of workplace bullying that Selen sent them shortly before her firing, and they misinterpreted this document hard. This user then breaking down the timeline as we know it. And jumping forward here, we have, frustrated by Nijisanji's unresponsiveness, Selen's lawyer suggests that she send a personal account of her experiences in Nijisanji to Niji's legal team in order to help them understand her grievances, saying, "If my understanding of the situation is accurate, this is the exact moment that everything goes to shit." Per Nijisanji's termination notice, we know that Selen has told Nijisanji through her legal representation that she intends to speak up about her experiences at Nijisanji if she's terminated. Now they've received a document written in a personal tone alleging all sorts of practices from management and or talent and filled with potentially sensitive information about other livers. Someone in Nijisanji's legal team comes to the conclusion that this account of Selen's is in fact the statement that she intends to release if she's terminated, and this scrambles all the jets. Immediately, the comms team goes into full crisis mode and scrambles to get a termination out the door so they can get the first word in. In my experience working comms during times of crisis, perfect immediately goes out the window and is replaced by quick. There's an enormous advantage to being the first actor to explain their version of events on the public, and even very experienced communication teams will make sloppy mistakes in this race to publish. With this context in mind, it's easy to see how Nijisanji screwed up their response to Selen's account of workplace conditions. The comm team pulls up the termination notice they've already written for Selen, and they add a bunch of defensive language to get out ahead of the claims in her document. This solves the first mystery of why did Nijisanji allude to bullying from talents when Doki did not. Niji's legal team understood Selen's private account of her experiences to be a public tell-all account that management then instructed comms to preempt. Additionally, comms also begins to brace for Selen's statement by preparing to counter specific allegations she raises. At least some of these allegations involve specific livers. So the comms team, working with legal, shows the talents selected portions of Selen's document in order to coach them on a statement about any sensitive information regarding past lives, workplace communications, etc. This explains the second mystery of why did Elira, Vox, Ike, Millie, Anna, etc. see portions of Selen's document. Comms believe that each of these talents would need to respond to specific allegations about their behavior and began prepping these statements based on legal's failure to understand the nature of Selen's account. Within an hour of Nijisanji's termination of Selen, Tatsuki Dokibird rises from the ashes and publishes a prepared statement that obviously has been checked by her legal representation. From a PR perspective, it's hard to imagine how this could have gone any worse for Nijisanji. Dokibird's statement begins with, "I will not be silenced anymore," reminding the public of the still recent #Where'sSelen controversy. She brings up bullying but leaves it ambiguous whether talent, management, or both are implicated, making Nijisanji's preemptive mention of talent seem like yet another instance of the company throwing its livers under the bus. The bottom line is that Nijisanji's talking points do not update to reflect the new terrain of the public dispute. They continue to treat Doki as a walking, talking brand risk despite her clear interest in just moving on from the controversy. And this just creates a whole new set of fan grievances and lurid theories of conspiracies and cliques. This comm specialist saying, if I'm right, what should we expect to see next? Assuming everything I've laid out thus far is more or less accurate, Nijisanji now has two options for their path forward. First is a long period of silence from EN livers, followed by a gradual ramp up of streaming and a total cone of silence around the subjects of Selen and her termination going forward. In this version of a PR strategy, Nijisanji would pivot from their misguided attacks and attempt to just memory hole these events, counting on the internet's short attention span to eventually take the heat off their talent and hoping that enough fans stick around to keep the EN branch financially viable. The second approach Nijisanji might take is one more final statement explaining the failure to communicate in general terms, apologizing profusely to Selen, and promising that those responsible have been fired out of a cannon into the sun in order to take some heat off the talent and the rest of management. In my experiences working with public-facing companies, I've found that the C-suite is unfortunately often loath to fully explain F-ups even after they've implemented fixes. Walking this path would require them to make damaging admissions about profound failures. This essay lastly ending with, my hope is that this catastrophe leads Nijisanji English's senior leadership to take a look in the mirror and make real changes to improve talent relations, comms, and translation services. But based on the moves we've seen thus far, I can't say that I'm optimistic. This while Dokibird continues her streams, taking time yesterday not only to stream Batman Arkham Asylum, but then kicking off a second stream for Apex Legends, being joined by both Amatsuka Uto and Ditto of the esports group Reject. Amatsuka Uto replying to Dokibird with, "I'll never let you go," while Ditto would ask Doki, "What am I in your heart?" and Doki so lovingly responding, "Rookie." Those three receiving this Girl Pred Squad artwork from Katsu. That's today, Dokibird is going inside the back rooms, that alongside independent VTuber Usan, taking to Twitter this morning to say, "Hope you all remember how you supported me back then. You never gave up on supporting me, even though you were hated or attacked for it. Never become the weak ones who bring others down. You know how heartbreaking it is to see someone you love being beaten." And we had this question, what's one way you showed unwavering support to someone facing negativity? Usan replying, "I just stayed there for them, and I tried to understand their point of view, and patiently waited them to digest their thoughts." It's hard to be right all the time, especially when you're learning. A strong person is one who can support others, including their growth process. This all while Doki would have other news regarding Twitch rivals.
Anyway, oh my gosh, little life update. I contacted a Twitch staff today, and I was so, I was very like, oh, what's the word? I was very grateful because what the Twitch staff still loves me. And he was like, oh yeah, Doki, if you still want to do like Twitch Rivals or like anything like that, like we will still support you and we'll still invite you to Twitch Rivals and stuff. And like I think they thought that I signed like an exclusive contract with YouTube because they're like, we thought you moved to YouTube forever. And I was like, no. It's the same thing. I like do YouTube and Twitch sometimes. It's the same thing. I'm just Doki now. So yeah, and then like the Twitch staff was like, yeah, we have like this event actually coming up. Obviously I can't say what the the event is. And they're like, yeah, we can like get you in on this next Twitch Rivals. I'm like, yay! Yippee! Thank you! I'm like, thank you so much! I can still be like, I don't even go here and I'm participating. I can still say that! Yay! So that was really nice. I was like, oh my god, thank fucking god. I can still do Twitch Rivals. Oh my god.
Oh, while the Doki Gallery continues to grow. Foxtania giving us Mr. Man, Little Man, and Dragoons with Dokibird. Starpy here with as soon as I heard about Mr. Man and Little Man, this is all I could imagine. Julianne here with I made Dokibird with polymer clay, giving us front and back shots. Oh, while Bayou is here with this pixelated stepping stool, along with the reveal of this fan model. That by way of Simply Nacho saying sending love to Dokibird. This cutie was drawn by Anubis and rigged by me. We sent the model by email too in case she ever wants to use it. Our contribution to the Doki Gallery that is growing stronger in numbers. We love you. By the way, neck toggle. That is today we turn back to Nijisanji English, now with Scarle Yonaguni, showing off the size of her puppet here, stating she's the size of a mozzarella stick, and reminding us Monday is her birthday. That all not before Scarle would give us this present on Valentine's Day. Scarle calling this an unofficial full-scale Scarle Yonaguni Dakimakura artwork, saying you can have your own unofficial Scarle body pillow during this holiday season.
Full-scale Dakimakura art. Ta-da! I know, so anticlimactic. And it is full-scale because I know, because of, I do not think we will ever get one officially because, personal use only. Like, I swear to God, if I see anyone, like, trying to sell this, I will be fucking pissed and I will come for your ass in court. I don't know about court, but you know what I mean. Do not.
So again, at this time, no official plans from Nijisanji. Scarle once again saying also personal usage only. Please interpret that as you will. With her fans, the Scarlings, giving us instances like this one, saying proper use of Scarle's Daki. As that is all for this episode. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Send in your VTuber news to our Discord, as we'll have more things VTubers say for you soon.